license. Anyway, thanks a lot for having me. Guys, yeah, we changed the title of the talk because that's quite an important thing in my eyes for our industry. And we launched that thing in IAC like 2 weeks ago in Canada. Yeah, and I mean, I know normally I would go now and talk about water chemistry in aquariums and stuff, and you possibly expect that, so don't worry. You can ask me anything afterwards, also about the other stuff that you possibly expected, which is easier for me, more difficult for you. But anyway, I also know that you're all about, you know, fishy people like fishy pictures and pooing hippos. I love that. But I don't have these things in my talk, right? But yeah, I have jiggling molecules. Okay, it's quite good jiggling molecules. So just let's start it. It's about cyanide. Sorry. Yeah, we have millions of jiggling things, so it's coming up. It's really good. Yeah, okay. I'm not telling you how I did it. You know, actually Russell did it, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's go. It's about cyanide testing, cyanide fishing. Let's start a bit chemistry a bit. That's a cyanide molecule, the jiggling thing there. And cyanide is very, very toxic. I think you know that all. Despite like whatever Lyle says, Australians are not immune because, you know, Lyle is drinking a lot or something. That's not going to work. So if you see cyanide somewhere, don't touch it, don't rub it in your eyes, anything. So yeah, in cyanide, when you not listen to me and still rub it in your eyes or drink it or whatever, and you're not dead, that stuff will be metabolized in your body to thiocyanide. I'm just telling you because you need to have that background before you go on. And thiocyanide SCN, so with one sulfur atom bind to it, is not toxic anymore. So it's not really nice, but it's not toxic anymore. It's not deadly. Both of them are naturally rare. Anyway, cyanide can be used for fishing. I think that a lot of us are aware of that stuff, and a lot of people have done talks about it, but I'm going to explain it again. You can use cyanide, potassium cyanide, in that bottle there. You can dive down there and squeeze it into the reef, and actually the purpose of that would be stunning the fish, so you can just collect them on the ground. That's not working really well, to be honest, because cyanide is so toxic that, you know, a lot of fish will die. Actually, toxins work with like, it's always about body mass and amount that you know, get into. It's like alcohol or whatever. So when you are very, you know, skinny and have a bit of it, you will die too. So I will go and explain that later on. But that's difficult to, you know, to have in seawater, in the water like that, to get the right amount to the fish to stun him, right? It's easier to kill him. So actually it's looking like that when they're ready with the cyanide treatment. This guy is hand collecting fish. Possibly hand, yeah, not really. He's just grabbing the fish, sadly, from the ground and put them in that thing. It's very easy to do things like that, but anyway, we're going on. The problem you have is that you actually kill more fish than you stun. And that's the thing that you need to understand. When you add cyanide into the reef and you squeeze it in, the red thing is immediate death. So anything that is close to this squeezed liquid will immediately die. The yellow ones is like heavy damage. That means that they will die later on. It's not that they will survive, they will just die later. And the green one would be the stunned fish, which still have damage. Right? So please have that in mind. That's the truth. It's not like they will be just stunned and wake up and everything is all right again and have a hangover. That's not true. Okay? So sadly, the destructive fishing with cyanide is in a very popular area for our industry. So more than 80%, and even more than 80% of the livestock going to, for example, America, is sourced from the Coral Triangle, and the Coral Triangle is sadly the main spot where cyanide fishing occur. And it's actually also a nice place and really nice reefs and stuff around, but yeah, cyanide fishing is not really good for that. And it's not getting better. That data is from nearly 10 years ago, and it's still there, despite what people might think and nobody's doing it anymore. A lot of people are still doing it, okay? And it's really weird. The problem that I've seen in Germany, and I'm coming to that later on too, is in Europe we tend to get a lot of our fish from Kenya in the past. So Kenya is quite, just 7 hours flight. You have very nice reef fish there, and we got a lot of fish in the past from there, and we still get them in Europe. And in the last 7 years, some of our fish that we used to get from there, they're endemic over there, disappeared from the market. And I think that that's because of cyanide fishing. There have been some change in like fishing managers and stuff. And expect like this fish here, it's a Brass Anamnes twistii. It's a very nice fish. And in the past, there are millions of them on the market, and everybody had one. But now I don't see any aquarists having this fish anymore. And you can't even buy them. This is Anamnes, so it's a slow feeder and stuff. So it's a very sensitive fish actually, but it's not like you can't keep him. Normally we had like millions of them, similar to Ferrinus over here. Actually, same species. Also, this fish, which is like I like to call him the Queenslander fish. It's a maroon fish. Aridis, same thing. That actually is easy to keep, but just disappeared. So, I'm coming to that later on, but I think that is, getting to other countries too that are poor and doing the same kind of fishing, sadly. Anyway, the impacts of cyanide fishing. The most popular one is actually that you just kill everything and not only the target species. So whatever is there, any newly branched coral, whatever is in this reef, and you squeeze your cyanide in there, will die. And you're not collecting everything. It's not interesting to have every fish, right? Like, they will just still die. That's really sad. The environment will be really badly impacted of that. Look, that's a reef that will not, and that's the funny, or not the funny thing, but that's a sad thing to it, that it is not coming back again. So the cyanide is somehow inhibiting growing, the reef is gone, that the reef is gone back. It's not like having El Nino or something, when the reef is recovering again a bit later. It's not the same thing. For sure, when you hit the environment like that, the communities, the people that live there, live from fisheries and actually not live from ornamental fish. They're living from fishing food fish, right? But this fish will disappear when the reef is gone, because there are no small fish to eat anymore, or they can't breed anywhere. So these people that actually do it, and they're not doing it on okay, they're doing it on purpose, but they're not doing it knowing about what they do. They destroy their future and actually need afterwards a lot of help, and that's a horrible thing. So this is what we know, okay? This is what everybody that did the cyanide talk before said to you already, if you have ever been on a cyanide, a talk about cyanide fishing. But what we found out actually is that it's not ending there. This is something that is not really known about cyanide fishing, okay? We said, it's really bad for environment, but actually, what should I do against it? I mean, I can't change it and stuff. So the problem that we come about is in a tank like mine, where everything is all right, and you put a fish in there, normally you would expect, okay, this fish should survive, right? And a lot of people have that problem. So aquarists are very impacted by cyanide. And my dad and me call that the cyanide effect. And let me tell you why we're doing like 10 years water testing now for you guys, and not for the Australians, but I mean for the rest of the world. Anyway, but the thing is that when you have, people tend to send samples in when there is something with the tank. So normally they do it maybe every 2 weeks, just every month, to maintain a really good tank, that's all right. But the high percentage start with it or do it because they have problems in their aquarium, right? They send the water to us, this is what we do. If somebody known what we do, send in the water and we just get a very detailed test for you and get it back to you. And when you have like problems with corals and you get this test back and something is red on there, and you get rid of the red and turn it to green, normally your tank looking better. That's all right. So having a problem with corals or nudibranchs or tunicates, whatever, is actually visible on that test, okay? But what we found out about fish is it's a lot of people having all green, so a really good water quality, really, really good, like trace elements perfect, yeah? But the fish still dying. And we can't really help these people even doing a detailed test like that. It's very sophisticated what we do here, right? So we try to find out why this is happening. And actually, it is, to be honest, the yellow zone that I showed you in the past. So we think that the fish are hurt, and we're quite sure. They are like, you know, nearly dead, coming in, bringing diseases in. And that's the thing that you need to know about. You know, when you sent me, because we did it, we've seen this in Europe and we're seeing it right now in America too. We have not done as many tests in Australia yet to tell you now. I will come up with it next year. Okay, I will tell you this next year. But the thing is that I actually believe that it's because of the cyanide, right? So why is that happening? Actually, the main reason is because it's cheap. Cheap for everybody in the chain. So the demand of fish is going up. Our industry needs more and more fish. And it's super easy to catch a fish with cyanide, right? My daughter can make it. You don't need to be Lyle Squire and dive like 160 meters deep and catch a fish, you know, it's that's easy, right? So it's just getting everything in the cheap way. But I mean, this is something that we can talk later on. It's a bit too much for now. But yeah, it's mainly the money. So we thought a long time about, like Lyle and me and Julian and all the guys from Cairns Marine, how to get rid of that. And normally, you know that we are very practical companies. So I'm not, you know, into politics too much. This is why this talk is a bit difficult for me, okay? But actually, we really tried the last years to find a way to, oh, sorry, something dropped. Okay, anyway, to find a way to get over that problem. And we really believe that the simple test for cyanide would be a good way. Actually, but testing a fish, not cyanide, don't mean that you're not messed up the environment because of something else. So you really need to think about this test. If we come up with it, that we'll give this to the fishery management, and the fishery management need to be good, really good too. So it's just a tool for the fisheries management around the world, which you're having a really good one over here. Anyway, we call this test scan. Yeah? Just to let you know. Okay, Russell, thanks for that much. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you're awake again. Yeah. Okay, I'm coming with the jiggling stuff now. So, scan is a test for thiocyanate. So it's not cyanide tested, it's thiocyanate. I will go on to explain you why. It's fast and simple to use. Okay, so everybody that is having it, something like a suitcase or whatever, can use it. Yeah, it will help our fishery management anyway, and it will hopefully end the cheap fish destruction of reefs. It's made by Cairns Marine and us. Thanks for all your help, Lyle, with that, and Lyle Senior too. It's a thing that we're going right now. We think we should go and give it to non-profit organizations, and for sure to the fishery managers. And also to public aquariums, because they have the possibilities to help us with that things too. But I'm coming at the end of the talk to what we're thinking about the strategy. Okay, how it works is quite important for you to know. I will not explain it super detailed, don't worry. But we built that on a write-up of Marcella, which is quite interesting. I can send it to anybody that want to know about it. But this write-up is more about thiocyanide, and we need to have better detection limits. It needs to be field-friendly, like I say. We need to be able to, give it to somebody that is going somewhere and doing the testing. And it needs to be fast, cheap, and easy to use, not like our ICP machines, right? So I will tell you why we build up on that write-up. So what the write-up is about in a very jiggly form. Anyway, there are water molecules and thiocyanide molecules, and thiocyanide is super rare in seawater, okay? And it is actually exposed, leaked by the gills of a fish when this fish have been exposed to cyanide, okay? So the fish will metabolize the cyanide in the body and get like thiocyanide out of the body. And the nice thing for us is there's this thiocyanide, when the fish is in a bag, will be in there and get more and more, right? So we can easily detect that thiocyanide in the water. Actually, this test will not harm the fish. We will just test the water and say if the fish in the bag is cyanide caught or not. We're using a very sophisticated method for that. It's called SIRS. I'm going to explain that. It requires like 50 milliliters of water. The detection limit is under 5 parts per billion, and I think we can go even lower. So normally I would say 1 part per billion is absolutely possible. SIRS means surface enhanced Raman scattering, and I will go on to explain that. So what we do is we actually use a small gold chip. Okay, it's gold, surface gold, and cyanide and thiocyanide are, you use that for mining, so you know they are having something to do with each other. And thiocyanide would stick to the gold surface, and you can detect that with a laser. It's an easy form of what is written here. But what we really need to do before we detect it is pre-concentration. That's what you see like over here. So pre-concentration is the main thing, the main problem that we actually have. Jiggling. So 2 techniques to pre-concentrate a molecule like thiocyanide. One is electrochemical. I mean, we're coating you just anyway, yeah, we're coating this nice plus whatever electrode with gold. And then that's so nice, jiggly and moving, right? Just look. And then the thiocyanide, because it's negatively loaded, will go and stick to the gold, and then afterwards we're going to detect that. Or evaporation, does it work? Yeah. Evaporation method, easy. Water is evaporated, and the thiocyanide is forced on the chip. Okay, so when the stuff is on the chip, it will stick to the chip and it will not be gone anywhere. So then we can detect it with a Raman spectrometer. Anyway, we're nearly done with that. So 2017, I expect to be ready to go and write an article about that. But what we really need is your help. We don't need your money. We just need your help. Okay, your ideas, whatever. When you're somewhere as a researcher, when you're working at the airport, whatever. If you have something that can help us, and you have an idea, please write to scan at Triton. This is the address that you should write to, and we'll inform you about everything. Even if you're just interested into it, we're coming up with information every few weeks or months, whatever interesting happens, and we give you this information just to let you know what is going on, even if something is like Australia is, getting affected with whatever. So just write an email to scan at Triton, and we collect this data and you will be informed. We're not trashing you with anything else, believe me, okay? We just do scan. I hope that, this is not live. Anyway, live is everywhere in the water. He's not dead. So I hope that less cyanide, that the cyanide test will lead us back to the normal fishing with nets and stuff, which would be really good for our industry. And that's the talk. Good, mate?
Thanks, Ehsan. We'll take questions now. The only comment that I'd like to add is, as a vet who works in the aquarium industry, it's very frustrating to diagnose cyanide toxicity. So pathology, histopathology, you cannot get a definite answer. There were thoughts that you could years ago, but it's been pretty well proven that you can't. So to be able to do this water testing, I think, is a huge initiative and what's the potential to clean up the supply chain. So we've got people who are going to roll around with microphones. If you've got a question, please put your hand up.
Hey, I just wanted to ask, so you're going to take this to the source of the problem initially?
Sorry again, mate.
You're going to take this to the source of the problem, so take it to the wholesalers or the distributors in Indonesia. Can prevent it and stop the people that are using cyanide from the start, so that we're not actually preventing the fish from going in an aquarium that's going to die.
Now I got you. This is why we need your help a bit, but actually what my opinion is, the source of the problem is the money. It's because it's cheap. It's not them. They wouldn't do it. They don't know about cyanide. No, nobody in this poor village will ever have access to cyanide. You can't buy it here, So somebody is bringing it there. Somebody that wants to have the fish cheap. Okay, so I truly believe that we need to, it's difficult to fight against money, that's true, but you need to do it differently. And I think that we'll start, there are a lot of people that don't want to have cyanide fish. Don't believe that everybody wants to have cheap fish, that's not true. A lot of public aquariums approached us and said, oh yeah, we would love to do the testing because actually we say we don't want to have cyanide fish, and they just tell us, yeah, they're hand caught. That's the problem. So, and then the fish is getting more expensive. This guy is making more money, but it's still a cyanide fish. So, because this test will help from the upper chain and then it will also affect the cyanide fishing, in my opinion. That's what something that we, political things are a bit, weird sometimes.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. I think that if you read that paper, the fish will actually excrete cyanide for up to 3 weeks. So there's a fair period of time during which the testing can actually occur to get a positive result.
Yeah, sorry, no, that's something that I should have put in the talk.
I'm from New Zealand. We are a livestock importer. We have a quarantine period that is actually 3 weeks long.
Yep.
Would this be something that, as an importer, obviously you don't have our local tropical supply? Is it something that we could use as an importer?
Yes, you can.
And show that we, have sustainable practices within our business to ensure that we don't get. So obviously, sometimes it's not affordable. You don't know where you're come from.
Yeah, I've had it in there written, but it's not an expensive test. But anyway, the good thing is, like Rob said, that you can, up to 3 weeks or 4 weeks even, test the fish still on thiocyanide. And I believe that it's even longer because the guys just stopped it after 4 weeks, but it was still a high peak. So, I truly believe it will be months after, that you can do it. And it's absolutely, this is what it's made for. So it's for you to know if your supplier is giving you, cyanide fish or not. And I know that a lot of you guys want to know that, It's all right. It's made for that. We can talk afterwards anyway. No worries. Oh yeah.
I'd just like to put my 6 cents. I think the reef that you showed, that decimated reef, was bordering on virgin reef, because some of the reefs I've seen in the Philippines and Indonesia have been in a lot more degraded state than the one that you showed. So if you think that you buy sodium cyanide for fish, you'll help kill reef, and as you stated, that new coral growth just doesn't happen on cyanide areas. And I've seen reefs that look like Bessie reefs in the water, whole reefs just bare concrete. So that's the worst case scenario. Thanks for this experience work.
Oh.
Hey, just a quick one. Assuming that obviously everything's going to go through and, the invoice is going to get all this stuff and it's going to be great tracking the cyanide, but I assume there's going to be a transition period between the actual testing of the fish, finding positive results, and, limiting that supply. For the poor fish that has been cyanide treated, is there any method architecture to help them at least try and get better, or is that it?
No, it's not. You know. Yeah.
I think the critical thing is going to be attacking the supply chain. So, if importers start doing the testing, they don't go back to their suppliers, they don't go back, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But until now, there's been no way of conclusively proving that batch of fish was cyanide caught. So I see this as a game changer. And I also think that organisations like the Industry Association of Australia or Project overseas will get right behind this and say, let's clean this industry up.
Have you considered an accreditation program for importers?
Oh, sorry, who was that? I haven't even seen it. Oh, sorry, you can. Okay, you're very visible now. Anyway, well, I'm not the guy to talk about these things to. I'm the guy that is making it possible to test it. Sorry, but anyway, that would be a good way to, good idea to put it on that email thing. My guys will handle it and give it to people that would work with that stuff, and just get me an email. That should be fine. I've never thought about that.
Ehsan, I've given the mic to Lyle so that we can respond to accreditation. You want to ask the question?
Oh yeah. He's the man.
Just a couple of thoughts that we've discussed this over many drinks at a time as to who should be in control of this particular technology. For a start, I don't honestly believe that it should be in the hands of wholesalers as the guardians of it, because I think it could be potentially misused. People will be saying, look, we're testing it, it's proving that our fish are being caught, when in actual fact it may not be. So I think it needs to be an independent third party that has actually got hold of this and been able to test it. As far as accreditations are concerned, again, my concern is there that you have one batch of fish that's all good, you get it tested, accredited, and you can go back to your old ways. So that gives me cause for concern as well. So I think independent third parties being armed with this technology is probably going to be the way to go. The other thing that I should point out is Australia is a very small fish in the global scheme of things when it comes to the hobby. If you consider the United States a massive consumer of fish, 80% of the fish in the United States are being collected from Indonesia and Philippines. If you start getting into that market and testing, you've got the capacity to force change back down the food chain. I've also got a thing that's called the Lazy Act. And the Lazy Act in the United States, feel free, Julian, to correct me if I get this wrong, but the Lazy Act was largely formed to prevent blood diamonds from entering the United States. And basically, to summarise it is, if you contravene a law in the country of origin, and you import something into the United States, then you are liable for prosecution. So if you import a cyanide-collected fish into the United States, and it's illegal to collect fish using cyanide in the United States, then you are potentially liable, well, you've contravened the Lazy Act, which means you're liable for prosecution. So you can imagine the impact that that's potentially going to have on the industry. There's a lot of debate whether that's a good or a bad thing. So I think having such a big market there, you have the potential to drive a lot of trade, particularly when you throw Europe into the mix. So that's the way I see it potentially unfolding, and I'll just hand over the word for it.
I'll only add on to that just because I've been doing so many presentations through the past 6 years. Based specifically on this, it's a big labor of love for me to see our industry uplifted. I think that what we do is wonderful, and I don't want to see us put under scrutiny. So we can't have fish anymore. We don't want a bluefish version of blackfish to occur in the industry where we don't have access to wild-collected animals. So just so that you're aware, Australia is a big importer, even though we're small on the world stage. More fish in Australia are sold that are actually imported than are collected in Australia. So we are a big importer of fishes on a small scale, but where they're being cyanide collected is not just the Coral Triangle, it's the Maldives, Sri Lanka, it's Sulawesi, it is Kenya, it is all around the world. So we can know that every single fish being imported into our country, imported into the US, into the UK, into the EU, they're potentially coming from suspect regions. And it's the cheap supply chain, the longest supply chains that we have to keep our eyes on. So yeah, we can't assume that we're just, it's Australia, so we're not in a position to be affected by it. We really will be.
Thank you. I think we're ready to initiate the question section.